one cause now. There's a lot of ways to deal with the treatment of pressure feeling and stuff. But there's always pressure because gravity's always there. There's always force because gravity's always there. So the feel becomes the feeling of the force, whereas the force actually becomes the point when you let it go above the contact point. So pressure stuff is similar to that, where you're gaining a new contact. So what you have to learn in pressures is the pops. There's a series of different styles of pops. You have your outside pops, which are your pongs, your inside pops, which are your pings. And that has still some scrutiny. But the basic concept in the pressure is that feeling of the gravity in a wrap. Because when something wraps, it still has the swing at the end of it. You have to be able to absorb that and pull it out. So a wrap is consequently followed by a pull of whatever side you're still contacted to. But that pull can keep the swing or can swing it out. So you try to get it organized, and what you end up doing is you sink this contact to absorb. There's so many different series of wraps and pulls that a lot of the stuff has been forgotten, even a lot of the leg wraps and stuff like that. People just don't do those anymore. But the wrap involves finger flips. So within pressures of a finger flip, you first have to be doing an orbit. And I always hand it to people and say, hold it with these three, hold this ebb ball, cushion it over your finger so you can feel it, as if you have this little bar here that your string is hanging on. I like that term, bar. Hitch it with this finger so that you can feel it that direction too. So it doesn't matter if you pull it side to side, your contact is hitched point, because this is a hitch, this is the point. You point and then hitch it. So that allows you to have full control over the flow ball for your orbits, which means you can orbit any direction. Your finger flips come in when you extend your point finger and take your contact, get it closer to the flow ball. So that extends the leg of the flowing ebb. So what that allows you to do is it allows you to catch the string high enough that this leg will be hanging longer than this leg. This is not position. N-O-T. It's an ebb and a 1 in the same hand. Very easy to tangle because of that. If this ebb hangs higher, it'll go through that try. So really all you have to do is focus on the try and feel the force of the pressure on the string. So once you get the hang of that, you can interrupt it at any point to do that finger flip. A finger flip is with an extended bar, point, so you catch it on it and whip it around. Sometimes it'll come back and re-whip. What you can also do with a finger flip is hook the bar. Once you hook the bar, as long as that ball isn't going through there, try to hang them like that more. Now you can twist it up and then extend your finger so it'll wrap. Now you have a pretty complicated little wrap there. How do you get that out? Simply point your finger down and shake it. So in motion, it looks like this. Real simple little hooked point, extend point, twist it the other direction, and point it down and let it unwrap. Where I see the rings and handles, which I'm still somewhat confused on what you describe as a ring, what you describe as a handle. This I would describe as a ring. Even though it's wrapped from chaos, I would still describe it as a ring. I would describe this as a handle, because you're using your hand and not a single bar. I would say a ring occurs when you use a single bar twisted like that. So it doesn't matter if you're doing it like this. Actually, wait. It has to be like that. It has to wrap over the string if my understanding of a ring is right. So this is a ring, which also makes it a pulley. The pressure comes in handy in a lot of other things, because pressure is evident throughout it all, so it does become a timing and a tempo thing when you start adding the bigger motions and wrapping more than one object at a time. So if you're doing this, all similar concepts.